out the sky onto my heart to cover up what I don't wanna show. I let you in deeper than I let anyone else before. Lining up with my broken pieces, took them all and made them yours. Didn't know when my heart beat needed, skipping out, no I can't keep score. When I lose my breath, boy, you got me breathing. Oh, every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Every little thing you do, every time you hold me, take me higher, higher. Oh, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, you take me higher, baby, you take me higher, yeah, you take me higher, baby.
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of the Progressive News Show with SBS3. I am your host, Marla, along with a returning Theus. And unfortunately, Agent Johnson has been working real hard because they is determined that the three of us is never, ever going to get back together again. I'm just going ahead and go through what's going on. Anna says, hi, everybody. I'm sorry to report that my area has been without power since yesterday evening. The professionals are working on restoring the power. We had a storm and some trees came down over the lines, but we have no estimate of where repairs will be done. I don't have enough power on my phone to join tonight, but wish you all the best and sending love. And that was from Anna. They are trying their hardest, Theus. They're trying their hardest to keep us away from each other. They're trying their hardest to not get all three of us back on this show.
I'm going to have to blow it open for you guys, folks. Marlon is being so diplomatic. Anna, if you can read her comment, she is the epitome of diplomacy, okay? But the reality of the reason why the three of us are seldom together is because of me. I don't like recording right now. So it has leaked over into everything else in my life. But I had an opportunity to come out here and hang out with what I hope to be both my brother and my sister. But, you know, I blame the duopoly.
Yeah, you said
the duopoly has sabotaged Anna's electricity. I don't know how, but it happened.
If you don't mind this, I'm gonna pivot from what I was saying. I think we're just gonna do some Reddit stories, make this a short show. Get my mind right for next week. So I try not to do any heavy things. But then again, I have you on the show. So that's completely out the window.
Nah, I don't have a lot of heavy stuff because I don't know. I got it, but nah, we good.
I mean,
this is your train, brother.
I haven't even been watching. Honestly. I mean, I've been getting snippets from Apple News in the morning, but whoosh, because it's like, again, we're right back to yay, good news. Bad news. Yay, ceasefire. No, not a ceasefire. Ukraine and Russia.
I can see how that could be the case for a lot of people. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not driven by the new shiny object. Do I know a lot of what's going on? Yeah, because I think in this particular time that we're functioning in, that it's pardon me, folks out there, but I think it's wildly irresponsible for you not to be tuned into what's happening. Now, that doesn't mean you get led by your nose by everything they stick in front of you. So now you're on this emotional roller coaster. That's not healthy. But, if there's a time for people to pay attention, it's now. Like, legit. Like, come on, folks. If you're not paying attention to what's happening in your world, we're the adults now, right? I'm not talking about the young people who are like 25 and under, even though they're the ones carrying a lot of the load. We're the parents. We're the voters. And if things go sideways, we're the ones that have to deal with it. So I don't know, bro. I don't know. This is why I don't record. This right here. Not this, but you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of mode is why I don't record. Because when I talk to people out in the streets, they say similar things. Man, it's just too much going on for me to see and pay attention to that. For real? All right.
You just have to, even if you pull one of my things, which this is though there's a lot of background going on in my life right now. So
choking on water. Sorry.
But I'll do better. I just got to take care of some things first. But
I feel you. I just think that, not specific to you, just as adults. Like there's always something.
I get it because I've said it before. To me, it was always the people who didn't know anything. But I'd be dogged if you ask them about pop culture or something like that. Like, I'm amazed at some of the stories of people I have never heard of, a singer or whatever, a rapper, a singer or whatever, dating another rapper or singer, or cheating on another rapper and they know backwards and forwards the whole story. But if I told you what's going on with the Palestinian war, I ain't got time for that. I'm worried about what's going on over here. Well, technically, not really. You ain't worried about what's going on over here. You really not. You worried about what's going on in somebody else's house. I'm not worried about what's going on over here.
But yeah, I label that as escapism.
Yeah.
People get into sports. They get into entertainment gossip. They get into mainly those two things. Those are the main two things people get into. They don't really get into movies no more because all the movies suck. But they get into sports. They get into entertainment gossip as a form of escapism. They'll say it's entertainment, but all entertainment is escapism. It's how you escape reality just for a while to have some fun. But if you're always escaping reality, where like you're not planning for worst case scenarios, you have nothing planned, right? Like, but you know what's going on, Super Bowl Sunday.
Okay.
That's escapism. And it is what it is. Like, it is what it is. Everybody's in a different place. But it's just like when I engage with people, because I do talk to people more often now away from this platform. And it's like, once I get to talking to you, you got nothing for me. Like, you don't know nothing. I'm not even going to waste my time with you. You know what I'm saying? Because when things get hot, I can't count on you for nothing. You're going to be a distraction. You're going to be coming to me talking about what we need to do. No. I need people who are ready to at least make some decisions and move.
Yeah. Because and just to piggyback on what you're saying is because they're coming to you. Well, what can we do now? What can we do about what? Whatever. XYZ. Well, what would you want to do? Well, what's going on? Wait a minute. You know what the problem is, but I got to explain to you how you got to that problem? No, I'm not doing this. It's 4 years. I'm not
Yeah,
finna-
I like to debate. I
don't
like to
mind
debate
debating.
processes. I like to discuss solutions. I'm really not interested in a whole lot of backward discussion, a whole lot of who was right, who was wrong, and a lot of the what do you call it, like just grievance
Yeah.
sessions, because that won't help us. It won't help anyone. All right, you may not be thinking the way I think, and that's perfectly okay. But I need people. I mean, I don't need y'all to do nothing no more. But the people I interact with are required to be forward thinking. And this is like even within my social circle. Like I love all the people I've always loved, but there's a number of them I don't even deal with because they don't think forward. They just want to pretend like none of this is happening and it all work itself out. Well, if you think it's all going to work itself out, you're 100% correct. It will work itself out. Just might not work in your favor or with your input.
I think it's also easier or difficult to ignore depending on who you are and where you live.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Like me, technically, I could be almost oblivious if I chose to be. It's not how I'm wired, so I can't do it. But I can easily see how someone like me could be, right? Because I'm in Metro Atlanta. Yes, it's the South, but it's Atlanta. So right now, we're more or less insulated from the worst of the things that are going on out there. The job market is still relatively strong where we are. We don't have an oversized federal employment system other than like the CDC, which was devastated. But you can literally function as though the shutdown isn't happening, the roundups aren't happening, people aren't being disappeared, concentration camps aren't being built on your own shores, foreign governments are getting their own military bases on your own shores. You know, you could pretend like you don't know any of this, or you could intentionally turn away and not notice a lot of things where I am because of where we're insulated. But my concern is, this is why I deal with forward-thinking people, it's still coming, right? And like, just because you're eighth in line versus being second in line, you're still in line, you know? So if you see what's happening in other places, you see what's happening in Portland, you see what's happening in Chicago, you see what's happening in LA, you see what's coming into New York, then you have to look at it and say, okay, so when this energy makes it to where I am, what will I be putting in motion? Not what will I plan to do, not what do I have to think of doing. You should already have a plan. In fact, you should have 2 or 3 plans. And then that way, when the energy gets to your doorstep or gets close enough to you for you to finally care, you just have to enact the plan. You don't have to figure it out. And I feel like the vast majority of Americans, no matter how you're situated, don't even have how did our president put it? The concepts of a plan. So
in the past month with the government shutdown and also November 1st when SNAP benefits go away if government doesn't reopen, it's making millions more and more people have to pay attention to what's going on.
You know, I would like to believe that were true, Parker. I agree with your statement in that it should. I really do. But I don't believe that it is, because unfortunately people literally have to be touched. They have to be harmed for things to crystallize, right? So like if you have, and if you guys remember more than a year ago, we're talking 2 years ago or more, when we were talking about elections and everything else. And I was saying, if this administration comes into power, they're going after the social safety net. And even if you yourself are not on the social safety net, what about your friends, family, and loved ones? Right? So like me, I'm not on the social safety net, but I am a Black man in America That means I have loved ones who rely on every level of that safety net, whether it be food stamp assistance, Medicaid, Medicare, anything Section 8, right? So when they don't have, guess who they have to come to, right? And I can barely survive on my salary, just like I think most people are in the case of. So you're going to be called on to either help or say no to people you care about. But until it happens, a lot of people have not planned for it. So yeah, I started setting things aside so I can make sure I can take care of the ones that I have to take care of. But I promise you that's not a universal position. And that concerns me. That concerns me because at this point, if it's true, which I believe it is, that the SNAP benefits won't be arranged for November, it's too late to fix it now. Next Friday is the end of the month. Well, at that point, you would have to be able to get the people back in the office and turn everything around and start issuing payments. That doesn't happen like overnight, right? Moving money around, even if you could just hit the switch, that's still 2 or 3 business days. So we're going into the next month, assuming they were able to figure this out next week. This is really serious. But I hope you're right, Parker. I hope that this, when the chaos unfolds, because a lot of people who are going to be touched that didn't think they were going to be touched, when that happens, I hope it wakes people up. But the farmers going through what they're going through, that hasn't woken people up. The grocery prices, that hasn't woken people up. The federal workers in food lines, that hasn't woken people up. So I don't know what it would take, and take what I'm saying in context. There are a lot of people who are away. We just had the big March thingy, right? 7 million people. Nothing to laugh at, nothing to sneeze at. It's a lot of people. But you need a lot more.
All right. See what else we got out there. Parker was just agreeing with you, saying, yeah, that's a fair point. So, all right, without further ado, let's get this party started. Also, just to give everybody a heads up, I'm going to play the Everybody A-Hole that I played yesterday. It was the one that I wanted Theus to see because it's been a long time since we've had a upset Theus, period. It's been a while, and I want to play that video. So let's go ahead and get into our first video, Speechless.
I, 32 female, work in an office with my coworker Ken, 40 male, who has a daughter Esme, 15 female. Ken and I are friendly. We've worked together for a few years now, and over the last year, maybe I have been trying to open the door with something romantic. I was being very obvious, but it never went anywhere, and I thought that it was because he was clueless. A few weeks ago, Esme came with Ken's dad to bring lunch to Ken. It was sweet. She was polite to everyone in the office, including me. They visited for about half an hour before I went to take my lunch. I always come in and ask Ken if he wants to join me for lunch, and I knew his visitors were leaving soon, so I did the same as always. He said no, which was no big deal. Sometimes he says no, sometimes he says yes. I asked if he was sure, and he said he was. And I asked, "Are you sure you're sure?" Sort of teasingly. His daughter speaks up and said, he's sure, and things got a little awkward. No one said anything, but Ken and his dad looked shocked. I said I was just asking, and she told me to take a hint. Ooh. And then Ken finally told her to stop. She said, quote, "It's not my fault she doesn't understand at her big age." I ended up crying. We didn't talk for a while and I steered clear. Last week, I finally talked to him about it. He apologized and we talked a little more openly about stuff. Ken hadn't dated since his divorce 11 years ago and he didn't plan to. He said he had been happily uninvolved. After some clarification, he meant 100% completely celibate. Didn't think people did that nowadays. Since then, and he didn't want to change that anytime soon, if ever. He told me he knows I'm interested, but he didn't return the feelings. We were okay. It was an adult conversation and all went well. This is where things turned sour. I told him I understood. I apologized for pushing, and I asked him why his daughter treated me the way she did. He apologized, but said she was protective of his choices. She knew that he was not interested in anyone, and he had expressed his discomfort around my flirting to his family. I told him that still wasn't validation for how she spoke to me, and that he needed to teach her tact, as ultimately I am someone being rejected by the person I had feelings for. She should have been more polite and treated me with empathy. It was like his mood changed on the spot. He starts talking about how he prides himself on being a single father and raising a strong, intelligent daughter. I apologized immediately for offending him and said I just felt that she was brash. He ended the conversation and we haven't spoken since. I noticed some people giving me the cold shoulder. Finally, I asked a friend what was up and she told me that some people thought it was wrong of me to have said that to Ken. I left it alone and figured it would blow over, but I've had this nagging stomach ache since then. I think part of me is looking for reassurance or maybe just laying out in front of me to clear my head. I think I just need an outsider's perspective.
I mean, I'm not sure what you're looking for from me, dog. You know, she likes him. She flirted. He wasn't returning the energy. She thought he didn't realize what she was laying out there. He did realize it. He just didn't have a way to, call her on it because it was all flirtation. So he didn't want to come right out at her because then he would have looked like a crazy person. And then his daughter speaks up. There you go. Boom. I was a divorced parent, and my rule was very simple. I had a young daughter. My baby was a baby though. No one met my daughter, and I was fiercely protective of my daughter. Like fiercely, like insane, unhealthily crazy when it came to how protective I was about my daughter. And all three of my girls are fiercely protective of me even to this day. So yeah, I don't see the issue. The issue only came in when you thought that given your feelings of rejection, which were valid, that you could tell me about how to raise my daughter when my daughter really didn't do anything wrong. She just called it how she saw it, and she wasn't rude. She was straight up. So since you and I are not going to be moving forward with anything, that's a dead issue. There's nothing for you to talk to me about her because she'll never be an issue between me and you again. But you chose to kind of push it because you were in your feelings. Okay. But once you did that, you triggered his protective mode. So, you're going to talk to me about my daughter? You don't get to talk to me about my daughter. And that's what happened. To me, it just seemed 100% legit. Just what it is. The young lady wasn't wrong until she crossed that little line. But I could see how she would cross that line. But then she got the consequences of crossing that line.
I'm going to go ahead and speak on the next video because it's an update to that story. So I'll give my 2 cents after the next story.
All right, here's the update. Hi, everyone. Okay, so I've accepted my ruling. I feel silly in hindsight that it took me so long to realize it, and I am literally sitting at my desk feeling like an idiot right now. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised by so many people saying I was the asshole at first, but after reading the comments and rereading my post, you got me. I'm not one to fight for my life in the comments, but I was tempted. In hindsight, though, yeah, I was an asshole, and a dumb one at that. Concerning Ken specifically and my feelings for him, I'm realizing I was sort of dumb anyway. The thing with Ken is that he's very handsome, and I don't think he realizes how handsome he is, but I also don't think he cares at all. That was an attractive trait, but I think that knowing that should have been my first hint that he wasn't interested in dating. Also, Ken keeps to himself. He's very reserved. He doesn't go out for drinks with the office, stuff like that. It was a stupid thing for me to go for a coworker in the first place, but for me to go after the hermit coworker who is a devoted single father was probably even stupider. I want to clear up some stuff. Full disclosure, I was ultimately the reason that this conversation got around the office because I told a few people about it and things spread. Ken is a gentle, like Clark Kent kind of guy, and everyone loves him. So when anyone hears anything bad about him, an angry mob forms. Another thing, his daughter is really polite, all things considered. She's really shy and quiet, but she's very friendly. All the older ladies in the office adore her. She's one of those types. Ken did correct her when she commented along the lines of, Esme, that was uncalled for, knock it off, or something. And she did say sorry right away. I've never heard her speak so confidently about something as she did when protecting her dad. I feel bad now as I'm looking back at it. I'm sure it's uncomfortable for her on a lot of levels. She's got a point. At my big age, I should probably get it together. Lastly, I am not neurodivergent. At the risk of sounding like a jerk, I'm just not used to being rejected. Frankly, I've never been in a situation where a man I wanted didn't want me back. I figured he was either oblivious or awkward, but clearly he was just uninterested. Who knew? Everyone but me, apparently. Anyway, thank you to everyone for putting me in my place and helping me see what was in front of my face anyway. I have no idea how I'm going to fix it, but at least I can now see I was definitely in the wrong.
That last portion that you said at the end, OP, is your basis for what you did. You was never used to rejection. You want something, you go after it, you get it. When it comes to men, so to speak, I guess that's what you're saying. To the point where you didn't even think that, hey, this guy doesn't want anything other than, workmate, what it sounded like to me. You thought he was clueless. You was doing all the flirting and everything, and you just assumed he wasn't picking up on it because you're not used to that. Well, this is a different type of person that you may not be used to. This is a type of person who is trying to be a very dedicated father. A person who wants to come to work, go home to his family, his children, or his child. And that's it. And that's something that you're not used to. Well, now you're going to have to get used to it because it may come up again. You was borderline harassing this dude. She was. Yeah. If the roles were reversed, yeah. If the roles were reversed, everybody would have been sitting there going, you need to go to HR. You need to go to HR. At least get it on rep. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't have much to say about the story other than you say you learned your lesson. And I'm the one that says actions speak louder than words. So we'll see.
I would say there's no lesson for her to learn. She has an attraction to an attractive man who minds his own business, and from what she knew, he loved his family, and that was attractive to her. I don't see where she was wrong there. I mean, I think that would probably almost be universally attractive to most women. And then I know, like me, and this is dated because I've been with the same woman for the last 20 some years, but prior to that, that was me. I wasn't what you would call handsome. I'm a strong C student in my opinion, but women would show interest in me, but I would be oblivious. I legit would be oblivious. I didn't even know what was happening. I didn't know you were flirting with me. Figured just being nice, right? And if I wasn't interested, I would let you know I wasn't interested. So I don't think that the women were wrong for approaching me, just like I don't think this woman was wrong for approaching him. And because she was flirting, but he never rebuffed her flirtations, she didn't know that she was like being extra with it. So I just don't see where she did anything wrong up until the point where she tried to say what he needed to do with his daughter. But outside of that one nugget, I don't see where she did anything wrong. And you say if the roles reversed, but they're not. Like the expectations for a man are not the same expectations for a woman. And in my view, they shouldn't be. You know, the world is built on what do you call it? Double standards, right? A woman can be more flirtatious than a man because there's not the inherent threat of physical violence behind the woman in most cases, right? So it flows different. A woman flirting with a man can be annoying or endearing. In fact, you hear men complain all the time that we don't know how to read when a woman's actually interested in us, right? We constant, right? So that's just part of what it is. I don't expect women to be men, and I don't expect men to be women. And I guess that's kind of outdated for the current era that we're in, where everybody thinks that everybody's 100% equal, denying thousands of years of human evolution. But cool, no, I don't think that. I don't care if roles reverse. No. Mm-mm. And then even within that, it's all about how attracted or willing to entertain the other person in your space is. Because if the person, male or woman, man or woman, is like fugly to you, then you'll be a lot quicker to run to HR. Okay, so that's just what it is. I'm sorry. Beauty has a standard in this game. And then like at the end, like learn a lesson. Like I said, I don't see that there was a lesson to learn because she's gonna probably run across another guy. If she's lucky, she'll run across another guy who has standards, who knows what he wants, and he carries himself as somebody that knows what he's about. And that's what her type is. And that next guy might be a lot more receptive. And her not being used to being rebuffed, that's men and women, right? From age like 9, girls have to learn how to tell everyone no because they get approached all day, every day by nasty older men and everything else from the time they're like 9 years old. Guys, we are usually the ones approaching. So we deal with rejection a lot more commonly. So yeah, she's not used to rejection. Okay, she's probably attractive, I think, from how she kind of put herself. And she's not used to a guy saying no. Most women are used to a guy saying no. In fact, you can be in a relationship with a woman and you tell her no, and I swear it's like you're dealing with a teenager all of a sudden. It's like, what the hell? So that's my take. I think, she just barked at the wrong tree, and she shouldn't take anything from it. She should roll exactly how she keeps rolling, and the next guy might be more receptive.
All right. Let's get to the next story. Not accepting an apology.
Growing up, my sister, now 22 female, was the spoiled golden child of our parents. She got everything she ever wanted in life and became the brat nobody wanted their kids to be friends with. I, now 24 female, even had friends who weren't allowed to come to my house because my sister was there. She would steal, try to make you do what she wanted, and would tell our parents if you didn't, would break stuff if she wasn't included, then wasn't allowed to take over decision making. It was a whole thing. We fought a lot as kids and we both said awful things to each other, but I grew to resent her more and more because of the monster our parents created. The final straw for me was my savings. My parents wouldn't let me open up a bank account because they didn't want me hiding money. They forced my first job to fire me because they were not okay with my keeping money to myself. And I knew they wouldn't help me with college or let me stay rent-free once I was 18, so I started being sneaky about saving. I babysat for friends' parents under the guise of visiting friends. I did errands for family friends or other people. It didn't allow me much in the way of savings, but it allowed some. But then like 2 days before my 18th birthday, my sister found and stole the money. And yes, I had it at home, but there was nowhere else to take it. None of my friends' parents were okay with my storing it at their house in case any went missing and I accused them. They were fine helping me get money, but they didn't want the responsibility of storing it, which I understand. My sister even told our parents I had the money and they got so mad at me. In return, I told my sister to f*** off and never speak to me again, and from that day onward, she wasn't my sister and I didn't love or give a damn about what would happen to her. I left on my birthday and never went back. I was no contact from then until now. My sister reached out to me a few weeks ago because a relative gave her my number. She apologized, told me she was sorry, said she had grown up and realized how shitty she was, and she knew stealing, breaking stuff, and getting me into trouble intentionally and trying to control everything was wrong. She said she loved and missed me and was hoping that we could repair our relationship. I didn't reply. I read the text and I kept it on my phone, but I didn't reply. 2 weeks later, she texted the exact same thing with an apology if I got the first, but she wanted to be sure. Then, a few days ago, she texted again and said she knew it was my number and wanted to know why I ignored her when she had apologized and was hoping I would forgive her so we could have a relationship. I replied one time, I considered not doing this, and I told her that part of growing is accepting that people don't have to forgive you or reconcile with you just because you apologized, and that sometimes the harm done can't be undone and doors are closed forever. I didn't reply after that. Then the relative who gave her my number and I exchanged some words because of this, and she told me it was the most arrogant way to tell somebody that you don't accept their apology.
Totally changed.
Didn't know she didn't get a vote. She said I should have been more accepting, and I told her that I didn't need to listen to this. Am I the astronaut for it, though? I'm not doubting myself, but I wonder if there are others who feel the same way as the relative. Honestly, maybe I should have kept ignoring my sister and blocked her number.
Mine is going to be really short, Theus. You're not in the wrong. The hell with whoever that relative was that gave the number out. Because the relative who gave the number out knew what was going on, knew the reasoning and everything else. So for you to betray you and gave your number to somebody that you know you even want to speak to, and then have the audacity to come in and explain, oh, well, you need to forgive her. That was just really messed up. You know where you could go, right? You batting 0-2 right now. So you're not in the wrong. People feel like every time somebody say, I'm sorry, you need to be forgiven. They got to forgive you. And I have yet, I'm sorry. I never understood the whole line of forgiving somebody is for you, not for the other person. I don't get that. I never understood that. Because I've heard the whole thing. Forgiveness is for you, not the other person. It's the equivalent of you. What was it? It's the equivalent of you sipping poison, hoping the other person gets sick. Like, no, I don't have to forgive you. And I'm fine. It's not like I'm really going out of my way to hope that your life is a living hell and you die in a fiery car. No, I don't want any of that. I just don't think of you. You do you, I do me. We go our separate ways. We're done. Ooh-la, and trust me, it takes a lot for me to even get there. So for me to get there, yeah, we're done. I'll even end it off with the best of luck to you. But that's just me. Like I said, it takes a lot for me to get to that point of never speaking to you ever again. It takes a lot for me to get to that point. But when I do get to that point, it's pretty permanent. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. And again, I don't want you to be trampled by a bunch of horses or whatever. People think not forgiving somebody, you just have so much hatred and despair for. I don't. I really don't. I just don't think about you. And OP, you sound like the same thing. You ain't thinking about her. You forgiving yourself, Sound like you went and got some help. Found out that you feel better and everything else. So okay, cool. But you don't need my forgiveness. Just go on with your life. To me, not the a-hole. Biz?
So you guys know I don't agree with Marlon.
Right.
All right. Now, I am, to use a gamer term, I am probably like A tier non-forgiveness, right? Like I'm not Mr. Forgiveness. That ain't me. Marlon apparently is like S tier. But for me, it's like this. If I don't like you, or if I decide that I don't want to deal with you, then I'm done with you, right? Kind of like what Marlon was saying, I'm done with you. I don't have to actively be angry with you. I'm just done with you. But that's not so straightforward when we're talking about my sibling, right? So my sibling is a product of how they were raised. The bigger issue here are crappy parents. Okay, so if your sister is younger than you and you were going through all this at 17 and 18 years old, I don't think they ever really said how far apart you are from your sister. So you went through all this, crappy parents made it all worse. Then you leave and you decide that such was your negative experience. And the one you point out was your sister stealing from you, but there's definitely more than that. And you just like, F you for life? Nah, I can't get behind that. Come on, bro. Over something like that, it ain't like she tried to stab you or take your life, right? So you are holding, as an adult, you are holding on to a grudge that a child did to you. A child hurt your feelings. And so you're done for life with a child hurting your feelings. You're weak. You are weak, okay? Now, I don't care how much baggage me and my brother have had our times over the years. But one thing that will never be is I never turn my back on my brother. Even if we ain't talking and we've had some years where we just don't talk. But that's still my brother. And if somebody else in the family gives him my phone number, cool. You can always give my sibling my phone number. Right? I just can't even wrap my mind around that unless it was some next level type stuff, right? Like your sibling tried to, do your like Daniel in the Bible, right? But come on, man. You feelings are hurt over something a child did to you. I say again, you're weak. You're weak. And you don't need to mess with nobody else because you're a sorry dude or sister or sorry person, right? Because you got problems. And I'm one who don't forgive people. I take people and put them in separate categories and boxes. And be like, yeah, I can't mess with you like that no more. But these are people who are not related to me. And I know what people will say. Family is assigned to you, friends are chosen. Right? And that's true. But like I said, the offense that was laid out, that ain't the type of we done for life type offense in my book. And if I know that you disown your sibling over this type of stuff, legit, don't let me know because you're not going to be in my circle no more. Because I can't, you're not trustworthy. I can't deal with you. You too flighty. I can't deal with you. So it's like, yeah, I can't feel him on that one. Least she could have done, even though she's not obligated to do it, was you're both now adults. Attempt to reconnect. Still don't like them, then you back off again. But you still holding some hurt that a child did. I ain't cut from that cloth.
Well, I'm an only child, so maybe you're right. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it's like, this is the kind of dude I am, right? This is who I am. Like when y'all hear this stuff from me, I'm telling you who I am at all times. That's why people like separate subject. When people ask me like my faith and all that, if you want to know what I believe in, there's plenty of content that's got me all over it. I am every bit of what I have presented to you, 100%. The good, the bad, and the in between. That is who I am, and I stand on it. So, yeah, that's why like I say things like this because it's legit me, right? So yeah, I'm telling you, legit, the type of person I am. If I found out that's how you and your sister, like, we're not gonna be able to jive. You could be my lady, and if I know that's how y'all, no, I can't rock with that. Because if you're my lady and then we have kids, is that the kind of lessons you're gonna teach our kids?
See, the only issue that I have with what you're saying, the only issue that I have is, and maybe it's because of the way the story was told. So let me just throw this out to you. Yeah, it may have been she didn't forgive because of what they did as kids. The only issue that I'm having is I don't know what the time frame from the time she moved out to the time that she got that phone call from the sister. So now but just in hindsight, now you're a full adults now. And you decide now all of a sudden to reach out to apologize for what you did as a kid. You're an adult now. When did you decide as an adult what you did as a kid was wrong?
When they grew up enough to be able to make that assessment.
Okay.
If look, think about it. If you are FU forever about a person, then that means forever is your time frame. So it's irrelevant to you, or it should be irrelevant to you, if it took that person 2 years, 5 years, or 10 years to grow up to the point that they felt like they could come to you as an adult and apologize. That should be irrelevant. The time frame is different because the time frame is irrelevant because what would be the appropriate time frame? On her 18th birthday? Did she have to, as soon as she turned 18, I should be her first phone call? Or maybe when she turns 21 and she's the true legal adult, I should be that phone call before you head to your 21st birthday party and start drinking. You should call me because you're an adult now. Or maybe when she's 25 and she's about to get married. Yeah, that would be better. Like, when is the right time?
How about the original time frame? Never.
She was a child.
Oh, and
you didn't give her your phone number.
But this,
you ghosted the whole family.
Here's the deal, because I've heard this so much on everything. Why do the victim got to be the bigger person? And
I'm not saying you have to do anything, but you the victim.
I'm using the victim as the person who got wronged. For lack of a better word. But why did they always do that to the person who was wrong? They have to be the bigger person. Why? Why do they always have to be the bigger person?
Here's the reason why.
Hold on. This girl, and I ain't gonna say went through hell. I've heard worse. But it was pretty bad at that house. It just really was. She decided it is so bad. When I turn 18, I'm out of here. I'm not dealing with you people no more. And she stuck to it apparently. So why now? Because somebody comes out from under the blue. What if it was the mom and the dad who come out and say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for how I treated you as a kid." Okay. And you can say, okay, and be done with it. When are you coming over for dinner? I'm not. Did I just tell you I'm done? I'm not. I do. Why do the person who was wrong has to be the bigger person? That's exactly what this.
That's not what I'm saying.
I said aunt, but they never said who the family member was.
Yeah, we didn't say. It was probably an aunt, though.
It probably was an aunt, yeah. Sound like an aunt that would do something like that. And I must say it like that, too. It was like what the aunt was saying. Oh, that was a bad way of just saying to go F yourself and everything. Why are you in this? Is that what you want? See, I see what the sister wants. See what the auntie wants. I see, well, we hear from the parents, so they probably still don't care. But I see what the auntie wants. Everybody gets what they want, except OP.
I guess the petty gene skipped me, bro. I'm not with this childish mess. Why does the victim have to forgive? They don't. They don't. Now, why is the expectation on the victim? Because they're the ones in the power position of forgiveness at this point. The perpetrator, they got no power now. They use their power. They use their power when they victimize the other person. So now the victim, if we're going to use that term, the one on the receiving end of the negative behavior, that is the person who has the cards to decide if they will or they won't, right? So it, like, going off of some of what you just said, if it's the parents that come in, you wouldn't be getting this diatribe from me, because those were adults that did a crappy job raising their children. And while a part of me would like to say, yeah, but hear them out, I would never put it as aggressively as I'm saying with this is your little sister who was a child when this happened, right? That's the difference, adult and child, right? So that's a big difference to me, bro. And then, like, I don't know, to me it rings like it rings to me really childish, to be honest with you, because I hear it from a lot of people where, you know, they don't feel that they have any obligation to expect more of themselves than anyone else. I walk through life, and this is where I'm different than a lot of people, and it doesn't make me right. I walk through life holding myself to a higher standard than people around me because I'm better than most people around me. So yeah, I have a higher standard of expectation for how I process things, how I deal with things, and how I react to things. So it's also comes with that people expect me to not react childishly, even if I have the right to do so. And is that always fun or fair? Absolutely not. Sometimes I get mad about it, but it's the role I play, because I don't want to be like other people. I don't want to be like lesser people. I don't, right? So that's why people have higher expectations. If you think back to when we were in school, I hope most people had a teacher who expected more of you than your peers. And I remember one time, I was in high school. I don't even know, it was probably 11th grade, but I was outside. My one of my classes was right across from my locker, and I'm out, just hamming it up, having a good time, cursing and joking and doing all the things that I do, trying to be the center of attention among my little circle of friends. And my teacher came out of her classroom in the midst of all of us and singled me out and said, I expected better from you. She had nothing to say about nobody else. We were all in the same grade. Most of us had her as a teacher, but it was me she expected more out of. So everybody doesn't have the same expectations. So that's to answer your question as to why she would be called on her more. She's the big sister. She's the adult who got to be adult first, right? And then it's up to her how she wants to play it. She chose to play it like a child, in my view, as of playing it like an adult. And she might change her mind. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, other life circumstances happen, and she may want to reconnect with her sister. But now her sister will be in the position of saying, when I came to you on bended knee with my arms open wide and my heart in my hand, you crushed it and told me to kick rocks. So you take the advice you gave me, right? And to some people, they'll be like, well, that's cool, because they in that petty mindset. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, everybody does what they do. This is how I view it. But yeah, I definitely have different expectations. And then, like, even when you're raising kids, you have different expectations off of your kids. There's a baseline that you have, but then you adjust based on the personalities of your kids, what you expect from each of them in a given situation. I don't think it's any different than how we move through life normally.
All right. Before we move on, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's YouTube page, Complex Mind, Simple Man. Please do not forget to go to Foxy Gma on YouTube. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour.
You know, you ain't that rusty, bro. You ran right through it.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go ahead and skip the debt story because we're almost up on an hour or so in a way. I want to go ahead and get into this story. So, am I the a-hole? So this is, again, I played this last night, but I want your reaction on it. I already said my piece with it, so yeah, probably gonna be a little shorter than yours because I think I'll just be repeating myself. But anyway, fighting with my boyfriend.
So my boyfriend, 24 male, and I, 25 female, have been together for a while, and for the most part, things have been great. But for the past few weeks, he hasn't been paying as much attention to me, even going as far as ignoring my texts due to being busy, which I know for a fact he wasn't. It just felt like he was purposely pulling away from me, which hurt a lot. I ended up going through his phone, which I found nothing in, but I couldn't help but feel like he was hiding something from me, so I decided to start a petty argument for attention. Admittedly, I was a bit passive-aggressive, but all I wanted was his attention and maybe to bring things up, even if it wasn't in the best way. I ended up just starting a big nothing argument over something admittedly trivial when we were walking through the park on the way back home, and he completely blew up on me, getting in my face, throwing insults back at me. I started crying, and he didn't even care. It was like he wasn't even my boyfriend anymore. I just wanted to talk about things, especially since I just felt abandoned these past few days, and I thought it would be kind of harmless, like a way to get his attention without blowing up. I did not expect the argument to blow up so fast because he got so upset and started accusing me of being controlling and petty, which I didn't ever intend to hurt him like that. I just thought it would be harmless and kind of cute, like how other couples play fight. I ended up running out of the room and left the house to stay at my sister's for the night. When I woke up, I had a few texts from him where he basically apologized and said he never meant to make me cry, nor did he want to hurt me, and he's just exhausted and frustrated at my picking fights. Honestly, I wanted to believe him, but I just couldn't because of what he said was so hurtful. Now he's acting like I did something terrible and like I just wanted to keep the fight going, when I never even meant to hurt him like that. I've seriously been questioning myself lately, so I decided to come here and ask, am I the astronaut for starting a fight with my boyfriend for attention?
You want my take on that?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one is typical behavior, unfortunately. And yeah, shorty, you the asshole, man. Because you came at it to start in a fight, right? And you expected to have all the protections that you normally have as a girlfriend, which is basically saying you expect him to be handcuffed while you throw punches. Right? Just because you wanted some attention. I hate to, typecast or generalize, but I mean, I've been dating women all my life, or been involved with women all my life. And yeah, sometimes, at least the ones I've dealt with, will start a fight for no damn reason other than they wanted to, I guess, put some stuff on the table, or they wanted to, I don't know what the hell be going on, because like, what? And I've been married long enough now that I will pull my wife's card. So I'd be like, you trying to start a fight with me? Like, is that what's going on right now? Is that what you say? What you got to say? Like, I'll just go ahead and pull your card. But we've been together for a long time. Prior to that, you get all the girlfriend protection rules type things where it's just like, I'm just gonna end up in a fight all of a sudden, and I don't know how I got here. So yeah, she's wrong. She's wrong. And odds are they are falling apart. And it's usually when you're either been together so long that the odds of falling apart is low, or you've been together so long that the odds of falling apart is high. Could be the one that both parties ain't pulling punches. So she started a nonsense fight with this dude, and that was the day. That was the day. And he was like, all right, let's go. Right? You ain't gonna be the only one yelling and fussing and cussing today. This ain't gonna be, it's not that type of party. I'm gonna tell you right how I feel now. And you're gonna have to hear it. All right. Normally I just took it. Now I'm giving it back to you. You process some of this mess. Right. And she couldn't handle that because she didn't think it would go there. Right? She only thought from her point of view what she needed in that moment, not factoring in there's a whole other person that you're engaging with, and you don't know what he's going through. You don't know what he's holding. You don't know how much he's been carrying, trying not to upset you. And then you went there. So he fought back. Is what it is. And then, okay, have your fight. You run to your sister's house. Okay, no harm, no foul. He apologizes because unfortunately, that is how so many arguments that I've been in somehow turn. It's like you attacked me, but somehow I'm in the role of apologizing to you because I want the pain to stop. Right? Like, I'll take the pain. I'm used to taking the pain. I'm used to bottling it up and shoving it deep down inside. So I still love you. So I guess I'll do it again. And so now you're the victim. And so I gotta coddle you, right? Because we know ain't nobody gonna come to coddle us. Like, that's just not in the cards. So we coddle you. That's just how it flows. And I'm speaking from a man's point of view. So I know, ladies, you may have a different perspective on this, and that's cool. But that's what happened here in my view. They'll probably be fine and keep it pushing. I think every relationship needs to blow up from time to time. It's only honest times that you usually have. It's when you just be like, screw it. What? That's healthy. It's healthy. But like Tracy said, just start. Like, she proactively thought about starting an argument. It wasn't like she just happened to start an argument. She was like, this is what I'm going to do.
This is what I'm going to do.
That's manipulation at the highest order. So, yeah, that's how I said
this is what I said last night. And I don't know if you missed it because you went straight to what I said last night. OP is trying to manipulate us by how she wrote this letter. By saying that I wanted attention, so I started a fight. So you're trying to manipulate your audience by saying, this is the first time you've ever done this. This is the first time I've ever done this. And the first time I ever done this, he blows up in my face. See, you're the victim because you didn't know this is the reaction that you was going to get from the one time that you started this fight. But you messed up by saying what your boyfriend said was, I'm sorry, I just got sick and tired of all these petty fights with an S. So this wasn't your first time doing this. But second, third, who knows how many times you've done this. You just pushed the wrong button at the wrong time. And this was the time. But you could not take ownership of what you did wrong. So you have to play the victim. I only did this once, and look how he acted. I would agree with you, honestly. If that happened one time and he just blew his gasket and started yelling and screaming and calling you out your name and everything, wholeheartedly agree with you. If that was to happen, which you are a terrible narrator, so we all know that's not what happened. He had it. He blew up. He called you out your name. Now, we don't know what you said to him. And you know me, Theus. I don't call people out their name. You can be mad. You can yell, which I have an issue with too, but you can yell and all this other stuff, but don't call each other out your name. Come on. You can get your point across and everything else without MFer and all this other stuff. You're an MFer, you a B, you will see you next Tuesday. What do you plan on getting out of this? Because now you went from arguing to disrespecting. And what did you think you were going to get out of disrespecting?
People don't think.
You definitely don't think, and you definitely lose more thought when you're mad. When you're angry, you lose more of your senses. But anyway, like I said, because this is going to be the same thing I said yesterday. OP, you are the a-hole. You need to find out what's going on with your man. Other than trying to get attention by riling him up. Went through his phone, didn't find anything. I'm not even gonna say anything about that because whatever. You went through his phone, you didn't find anything. You don't believe that he's busy. I don't know why, but find out what's going on with him. And maybe as an adult, y'all can come to some type of compromise and figure out how to move forward.
I'm curious how, and I agree with everything you just said, which is rare. Like, we don't always agree.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you just said. Well, so now just a curiosity, like one of those like thinking exercises, right?
Mm-hmm.
How would she get an understanding of what's going on with her man? Right? Now I'm just being like using myself and like a lot of guys that I know as the template. Even in the best times. Like, even if we weren't at like level 9 out of 10 argument levels, trying to get from me what's really going on without me volunteering it, I don't even know how a person would do it. Right? Especially when you're dealing with a personality like this person seems to have. Because you already know if I tell you anything, I'm going to end up having to become the bad guy just because I'm going to tell you what you want to know. And then you're going to feel bad about making me feel bad. And so now I have to make you not feel bad for feeling bad. Like, so I'm not even going to bother. Right? Like, I'm not going to give you what you're after because it's just going to turn around into being about you anyway. Right? Or the stuff that really bothers me or really bothers guys like me, I'm really good with words. I'm actually one of those people who over vocalizes. So what I'm going through, I usually will talk to you about it or I'll raise it to you within reason. So if it's something that I'm not volunteering to you, it's either because I don't trust you with it or even I don't know the words to use. So there's no matter what you ask me, you're not going to get it. I'm curious how somebody would even like get at that.
I don't know. But a wise person once told, well, it's kind of hard to say it on this. Stop being scared of talking to your spouse or your wife or your husband or your significant other. Just talk.
But this ain't about scared, because you know I'm king of saying don't be scared of your woman. But this is
how
more like
how you get the information out?
yeah, because like
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, here's a thought though, and this is not me being sarcastic. It really has a point to it. Just try and see what happens. Just try. I mean, I don't know what story we was talking about yesterday, but it was like we make everything, because we listen to these stories so much, we make everything so complicated. When in actuality, it could be just like the easiest solution. But if we make things so complicated, it's like, how do we do it? Do I sit them down? Do I take them out to dinner? Do I write them a letter and stuff like that? It's like, or you could just talk to them. And it could be as simple as, okay, thank you for asking. Here's what's going on with me. And it could be just that simple. But, you know, we're so used to, you know, what's going on with you? Nothing. You sure? Yeah. You don't want to talk about it? Nothing to talk about. You know, so, yeah, give it a shot. All right. 2 more videos and we are up out of here. I was to say my mouse just went dead over, but here we go. Skipping my anniversary.
I, 35 female, have been married to my husband, 38 male, for almost 2 years. Since my company went remote last year, I've been working from home full time, which, while I like the flexibility, I have missed the social interaction of being in the office. I've been making an effort to have lunch with my coworkers occasionally, and it has helped me feel like I still have a life outside of the house. One of my closest work friends, James, just got promoted and is moving to Europe. He has been with the company for years, and a lot of us are going to miss him. The team is throwing him a farewell party next Thursday, and I told my husband I was planning to go. That is when he reminded me that Thursday is our wedding anniversary. He said he had already made dinner reservations as a surprise. I genuinely felt bad for forgetting, but I told him we could still celebrate the next day or over the weekend. He said it's not the same and that it feels like I am putting a coworker ahead of him. He did not yell or argue, but instead got quiet and started doing this thing where he mopes around and acts really sad without really saying much. I told him anniversaries can be celebrated any time, and this dinner is a one-time thing. James is leaving the country. I will not have another chance to see him off. My husband, on the other hand, will be here the next day, the day after that, and so on. Now, he has been a bit distant all week, like I personally attacked him by not canceling my plans. It feels like I am dealing with a kid who is pouting because his birthday party did not go exactly how he pictured it. I get that anniversaries are special to some people, but I honestly do not think this is that big of a deal. We have only been married 2 years, and to me, the important milestones are 5, 10, and so on, not every single year. I'm still willing to celebrate, just not on that exact Thursday.
This lady kind of sucks.
You think?
Yeah, I'm like, your coworker. Okay, first of all, it's your coworker. So I get it. Could be your work friend. Y'all been working together for a while. Whatever. Cool. But it's your coworker, and you've been working remote anyway. But okay, cool. This is how reasonable people would handle this. You would have told your husband about the going away party, and the moment you found out about it, so that he would have been in the position to work with you to say, well, okay, so that's our anniversary. I want to make plans for us. Do you want to celebrate our anniversary like the weekend before or the weekend after? Because me and my wife have done that plenty of times based on when our paycheck lands. We'll be like, well, maybe we should do our anniversary next weekend. So give him the respect of being number one in your life and work with him, you know, and then you wouldn't have him pouting. He's only pouting because he's trying to avoid fighting with you. That's the only reason, right? He's hurt, he's offended, and he can't figure out how to process how your coworker moving took precedence over your anniversary he had already made plans for. This isn't that hard. So yeah. And it's really wild. Y'all ain't been married for 2 years. This kind of nonsense usually happens around that 5th year. Y'all early. Y'all ahead of schedule. Good
Lady,
luck.
this is gonna be real short. Really, really short. My coworker, or I'm paraphrasing, my coworker is leaving, but my husband will be here the next day. Not for long. Not for long. Keep messing around. You know how you get to your 5-year anniversary? By going through your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th anniversary. Know how you get to the 10th? Same way, 8th, 9th, 10th. You get there and you celebrate it all the way to your big one. But you want to go say bye to somebody that you ain't seen in who knows how long because you work remotely. And I'm gonna get to Tracy's comment real quick. What did Tracy say? It was so true. Lies. I never wanted to go back into the office ever. Yeah. I don't know. I've heard it during the pandemic that people were so cooped up in the house and everything else that they really wanted to get back to the office. But after the pandemic lifted and they were still allowed to work remotely, I don't know too many people that wanted to go back into the office. As a matter of fact, I know a lot of people who despise going back into the office. That somebody has a work spouse. I don't think it's going that far, Tracy. I just think she's taking advantage, basically. I think that's all it really is.
Yeah, she's neglectful.
And yeah.
Take him for granted, I think.
That's what I wanted to say. I think you can take this for granted. You can have a work spouse remote. I've seen it happen. Really? Okay. I never worked remotely, so I'll take your word for it. I don't see dead people. I just hear them once in a while, but I do see vulnerable narcissists everywhere. So I'm just gonna shut. She's talking about the last comment that she made, that last story that we was listening to. About
I'm just tripping off her. How come I don't see her comment? I saw that one.
Comment? Go to the top and see if you got top post or
yeah, I got top chat. That's what happened.
Go to live chat. Okay. I commented on this one yesterday. I thought this was narcissistic abuse from her side. Is vulnerable, narcissist, manipulative. I experienced it, so it might be why that's what I see.
Yeah, I think that. I mean, I'm not doubting Susan's terminology. I'm just like, man, we get way too clinical on some stuff. Some stuff people just manipulate. She's manipulative.
She's manipulative,
right? But yeah, that might be the clinical terms for it. I'm not that educated in it. I'm like, nah, you manipulative. But what Tracy was saying about like the work spouse, like I've almost always had a work spouse, right? Like I'm sure my wife's probably had a couple, but never remote. Well, how do you even have? Because like your work spouse is somebody you joke with. That's the person you go to lunch with. That's the person that like you do like workload sharing, right? Like if I'm really good at this particular type of task and she's really good at this particular type of task, we pick up each other's weight on those particular things so you can focus on the other stuff. You see it all the time. Remote? Like where's the interpersonal connection? But okay, I guess anything can happen because you got people who have full-blown relationships and they do it all through chat. And
that's what she said. As long as chats exist, there will be work spouses.
We got people in love with AI bots now. So I guess
you will put your business out like that on the chat.
Well, no. So I think so let me definitely clarify. A work spouse is absolutely not a romantic relationship. Not at all. It's like a really, really good friend. right? That just happens to be the opposite sex. So there, you can have that on chat at work because it ain't like there's nothing going on. Y'all just have like your own internal commentary as far as jokes and stuff. But yeah, if you chatting about something that shouldn't be in the chat, you crossing the line. You need to abort. You, sir or ma'am, are on the verge of cheating. So
here's my issue. I did please use a different wording.
Oh, you're right, Tracy.
Because I take spouse, you know, like I never like work wife and work husband and everything. No, you don't. You have a wife or a husband. It doesn't separate because you go into a building of employment. And now you have another one. Like
it's a lighthearted term, bro.
Yeah, I just don't like
it's a lighthearted term because the thing that separates a work spouse from a coworker is the private jokes. It's the actual direct connection. That's all it is. Like, this is your friend that you work with. They don't really call it work friends, right? Those are coworkers. But it's just a lighthearted term. Now, granted, it can go wrong if the people don't have boundaries and don't respect, you know, relationships and all that stuff. I agree with you there.
Sorry. Susan said, this is a special kind of manipulation that you might not even know is happening until you blow up and feel wrong or guilty. And it keeps going on until you're sure they're the bad ones. Till they're sure you're the bad one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, Marlon is like, I think she's still referencing the original comment.
Yeah, I got it.
Like, they provoke you by starting a fight. They provoke you into the confrontation just to turn around and make you the bad guy. Like, and that was always the plan. It was not like it happened. They planned for you to ultimately end up being the bad guy. So now you're sitting on this feeling like, well, maybe I shouldn't have blown up at her, or, you know, maybe I was wrong and I just misunderstood.
And then that answers your question then. Because you were saying, why am I the one who apologized? Because you feel like you're the wrong one. You was manipulated into feeling like you're the one that did something wrong.
Sometimes. More often than not, I don't know if that's a fair statement, but frequently, I'm apologizing to get it behind us. Because if somebody's going to need to just own this, then I'll just own it to get it done. I will, as they say, give up your right for someone else's wrong. I consider myself to be the leader of my household and the leader of my relationship. So there's very, very often that I know I ain't wrong, but I was wrong. And I just own it. And we move on, because that's what's needed for the other person, because the other person is not going to, either they're not going to back down or they don't even know how to back down. Because sometimes people will get so far ahead of their skis that they don't know how to get back down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm going to let you down. I'm going to let you down. I'm not going to leave you out there. That's on me. I should have reacted a different way. Fully aware that it wasn't my fault. So I'm not carrying the baggage of feeling like, well, maybe it was me. No, I know it wasn't me, but I know you need for it to be me for this to be over. So it's me. And you might figure this out on your own when we're not in it, talking to each other. And that's perfectly fine for me too. I don't need to see you come to the understanding that it was you. You can come to that understanding completely out of my view. And I'll know that you came to the understanding because it doesn't come back up. But everybody can't handle that. Some people need what they call closure or whatever, or they know they're right. They're not going to accept wrong when they know they're right. Some people are like that.
All right, everybody, this is our final video of the night. If you haven't already, please hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. Let everybody know that we are here, not on a regular basis, but like I told Tracy, definitely better than the last 3 months where we wasn't even here at all. So, it's just now, it's going to be a special treat when it's me, Theus, and Anna, because we're just going to be some rotating ass people on this show. Like, at the very least, you're going to see my pretty face because I'm going to be the one here all the time. But will I have both of them? Will I just have one of them? Who knows? But either way, I appreciate everybody who come back. I appreciate everybody who shows up. I appreciate everybody who watches the show after we go off the air. I really, truly appreciate that. It's very, very cool because, it's just changes that happening, that's going on, and it's just humbling. Thanks to Theus and Anna and the people who watch the show that you stuck by. You stuck by it. Tracy even, it's humbling. Even Tracy goes, is this going to be normal? Because I'm just not used to this. Y'all, I need y'all to come on back on the week. It's just so humbling because it's like, is anybody watching this show and everything? And it's like, yeah, they are. You just need to get out there or get back to it. So I really appreciate it. But let's go ahead and get into the last video of the week, which is our Mafia video of the week. So Mafia video of the week is by Tracy. Yes, Tracy, I did find your video, so I'm going to go ahead and play it now. Honest Politician.
Hi, I'm Gil Fulbright. The people that run my campaign, they've made this commercial, and I'm in it. This campaign, it's not about me. It's about crafting a version of me that'll appeal to you. A version that visits random work sites with paid actors pointing at things. A version of me that doesn't find old people loathsome or pointless. Has a conventionally attractive yet curiously still family. Listening to my constituents, legislating, these are things I don't do. What I do is spend about 70% of my time raising funds for re-election. I'd do anything to stay in office. My name's Gil Fulbright, but hell, I'll change my name to Phil Goldbright or Bill Fulbright or fill up my mouth with farts. These are the things that are important to me. And these are the fine people that finance my campaign. Now, in order to do these things, I have to stay in office. And to stay in office, I have to keep these guys happy. Now, if any of these things make these guys unhappy, well, my hands are tied. So come November, the choice is clear. Do you want another spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? Or a spineless mouthpiece for special interest and lobbyists? I'm Philip a mouth with farts, and I approve this message.
Yo, I love it. Great video selection, Tracy. Not that I would ever be elected, but I think that would be one of the things that you could look for from me if I ran for elected office. I'll tell you, look, I don't care if I get reelected. Like, I don't, I'm going to come in and I'm going to do the job as best I can do the job, representing people who sent me there. And I'm going to have like periodic, like web chats and have in-person town halls and all that good stuff. And when I feel like I need to snitch on what's going on, I'm going to snitch on what's going on. And if the people like what I'm doing, then they'll reelect me. Because the reality of this is, because I know a lot of times we get tripped up on money, because money is a big part of this, right? But at the end of the day, it's people voting. And I'm not Pollyannish. I'm not a fool. I understand that people are not informed voters. That's not how they move. And we don't actively think of our state representatives or our House representatives or our senators. We don't actively think of these people, which is why so much of this stuff happens in the dark, where they get money from secret dark money packs and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, it's the people who vote. So if you want people who are actually going to go there to do work, then that's who you need to vote for. And the way you do that is you need to get involved before the primary to find the people that you want. And then you start getting with people and getting more votes and doing all the things you do. And then now you go vote for them. That defeats money. That beats money. Like realistically, you should be able to run for any office in the land with almost no money, except for, the fees and stuff you got to pay, but we aren't ready for that as a nation, which is obvious based on where we are right now. So the money wins. The money wins, but the money wins because we don't play.
Susan come in. Hey y'all, I didn't get to tell you. I just turned 70. I think 67.
Happy birthday, Susan.
Happy birthday, Susan. Happy birthday. I'm not sure I appreciate this candidate's honesty.
Yeah, I wouldn't vote for him.
No.
Because he still didn't say what he was going to do.
He didn't tell you what he was going to do.
Honest.
He was honest. He said what he was going to do.
No, he said he was going to do
what he said what he was going to do 70% of the time.
Yeah, that is true. So he was honest that he's not going to do anything. Right? And that's like next level thinking, right? Because when people say, make them lie to you, right? So no, tell me what you're going to do, right? Make people lie to you. Don't just accept the lie before they tell it. Make them lie to you. So yeah, at least he was honest. But thanks to his honesty, I know not to vote for him. But the alternative, or what goes along with that, is we have to be willing to vote for the person who is honest with you and says, if you put me in there, all right, I'm going to be a freshman. So they're going to keep me off of all the important seats and all of the important, what do you call those things? Councils or whatever it is. The term escapes me in this moment. But they're going to keep you out of all the important chairs. So you can't get into the boards to vote for certain things. And then that means I'm going to have to rely on you guys to put me back in office when it's time for re-election. Because if I have to rely on somebody else to put me in office, then I got to do what they asked me to do. And because you're not doing it and they are doing it, then guess who gets listened to, right? We got to decide what we're willing to reward. You got to reward performance. And right now, we don't do that. Right now, we punish you. We will punish anyone who dares be disruptive, even if they're disruptive for the things we say we want them to do. So you get more people who don't do anything.
Because they don't have to.
Committee. Thank you, Susan.
That's what I thought you was trying to say, committee.
I just couldn't get the word.
All right. I'm going to play this one video, then we're going to go ahead and get on out of here because I played it again. This is just a rerun. We've already heard it before, but it was so I just loved it so much. And I played it when Anna was on the show and you wasn't here then, but I wanted to play it to you again. The spoken word.
On June 17th, 2015, Dylan Ruff walked into a midweek Bible study. He sat and prayed with the church members before pulling out his gun, killing most, and allowing one to live. After the incident, he was found and arrested peacefully. When Dylan Ruff killed 9 innocent black people, we did not question his God. He wore flags of apartheid Africa. We did not question his allegiance. He committed the crime alone. We did not question his people. When Adam Lanza shot a classroom full of first graders at Sandy Hook Elementary, we did not ask him to leave the country. When Timothy McVeigh killed 168 people in Oklahoma, we did not call this a crime against every American. When the KKK killed thousands of black people while swearing to uphold Christian morality, We did not ask them to remove their robes. We did not call all Christians bigots. Do you see it? How we don't label all white men based on the sins of a few. Do you see it? How we don't have to condemn a whole class of people based on the actions of some. Do you see it? How all the names are different. How all the faces are different. How all the people are different. Therefore, we should not condemn all Muslims for the radicalism of a group. If you want to persecute ISIS, go ahead. But to persecute ISIS is to persecute those that gave them power. To persecute those that gave them power is to persecute the U.S. government. Do your research. Islam is not synonymous with terror. It is literally submission. It is devotion. It is peace. Terrorism is actually forbidden, and jihad does not mean holy war. It means struggle. It means survival. It means standing face to face with everything that wants to put you in the ground and choosing to be alive. Do your research and stop listening to CNN. Stop trading humanity for hypocrisy. Stop staring at Muslims in the airport. Stop letting your fear drag you into ignorance. Stop supporting billionaire Republicans who want to scare you into murdering the innocent, and start supporting leaders who speak peace in their native tongue. Instead of burning down the mosque, burn down the walls around the pulsating muscle in your chest and realize that we all have one. And lastly, as the customary greeting goes, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam, and upon you be peace. Do you see it?
Okay, you want to go first?
No, I thought I like it. So you
Okay.
don't have an issue with it. So go ahead.
I don't say I have an issue with it per se, but maybe 5-10 years ago, that would have landed different to me. Now, it's just, they see us now. Do you see us now? You should see us now. I'm not there anymore, right? So, do you see it? No. No, they don't see it. Who are you talking to? Are you talking to people who already think like you? In which case, yes, they see it because they already think like you. Are you talking about the people who will typecast and generalize you for being Muslim or for being Black or anything? No, they don't see it. Or in fact, better yet, here's the next level. They do see it and they don't care. In fact, they see it and it motivates them even more. So instead of beseeching the people who hate you to not hate you, you need to be able to look at them and say, you hate me and I don't care. I love me, and I love those who love me, and I will work with those people, and I will care for those people. And the people who hate me for the faith that I have, the color that or the skin that I'm in, then you have declared me to be your enemy, and therefore, guess what? I am yours. Right? So that is where I'm at. So when I hear this, it's exhausting. When I hear this, it's like, stop talking. That's literally how I hear that spoken word. Like, stop talking. What are you doing? What are you doing? Who are you trying to convince? It really sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. It sounds like the person who's at the end of abuse, on the other end of abuse, begging the abuser to stop. Do you think that your pleas will ever change the hearts of those who hate you? Do you think you're just one discussion, one well-reasoned argument, one heartstring away from unraveling however the hate got into their hearts? Do you think it's accidental that to be non-white is to be representative of the group, but to be white is to be an exception to the group? You think that's accidental? Or do you recognize that that's how power works? That's power dynamics. He who sets the rule sets the rule. Wake up, face it, and act accordingly. That's where I'm at. These things now, they actually serve to upset me. Because I'm like, you're not at the point where we can build anything, because you're going to be so concerned about how people who hate you regard you that it's going to distract you from doing the things you need to do.
I just like the way they said it.
All right, and I get it, but that's where that, and like I said, maybe a decade ago, I would have been there too. It probably would have like been, wow, that's powerful. But now it's just more like it's, I'm going to use this word, but it's not the best word, but it's pathetic. That it's shameful. Straighten up your back, people. Your ancestors would be ashamed of you. This ain't the time for that, man. This is why y'all don't see me that much. Because this ain't the time for that. This ain't time for singing songs and hugging it out and trying to figure out how we can come together. We're past that. I'm past that. I don't care if you ever like me. Ever. All I want is to be left alone. And I promise to return the same favor to you. I want to be able to engage in trade with you and not be handicapped because of what you perceive of me, and me not handicap you accordingly. I don't care if we're equals, because we will never be equals. Equality is a myth. It doesn't exist anywhere in nature. Let's work on a little bit of reciprocity. If you come to me with violence, I believe you should get it back. If you come to me with peace, I believe I should give that back. Right? For those who are any level of a study of Malcolm X, who once spoke of, you need to be able to speak the same language. So if you got a person speaking German and a person speaking French, it's really hard for them to, to negotiate a deal. You need to land on a language you're both going to speak. So if you speak violence, then the other person needs to learn how to speak violence. And if you speak peace, the other person needs to learn to speak peace. And temperance and patience and whatever your language is, we need to find that, decide if we're going to speak that language. And then do that. But stop begging someone to like you, care for you, or see you as an equal. First of all, for the most part, you're not their equal. They own everything. You own nothing. So why would they see you as an equal? But okay. But they said some nice words.
I refuse to end this show on this note. I'm not saying on a bad
positive
note. I didn't say a bad note. You didn't hear me say a bad note. I said no. I'm not going to end the show on this note. So Tracy, get ready, because I'm doing it again.
Why, yes, I'm an evil left-wing sheeple snowflake working for the deep state, here to force your wives to get abortions and then leave you for transgender lesbians. Yes, it was us Antifa that stormed the Capitol to make you all look bad so that we can take your guns, spread communism, and blast Cardi B in your churches. And you're never gonna stop us, no, 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 you're never.
I like her cabinet color.
That'll never get old to me. But then I'll give you one of your own. So I'll give you one of your favorites.
Here you are, baby. Fresh baked pie. Just for you.
Where did you get this?
I baked it from scratch.
We don't have an oven.
God helped me.
Joseph, please.
You see how that sounds, Mary?
Oh, God. And it reminded me, that they started doing, I mean, I'm sure they just stopped doing it a long time ago. Well, I forgot to tell you that they did a human version of that whole thing.
I've seen it like done with different backdrops.
Yeah. I saw a human version of it. It was a man and a woman that was doing it. It was like
I don't think I've seen that one.
it was funny. But then tell everybody where they can find you.
It's hard to find me, to be honest with you. I don't really do a lot. But so sorry to be long-winded. Complex Mind, Simple Man. That is where I plan to be dropping Theus's Project 2028, be a video series of what I would say Project 2028 would be what I'm looking for, right? What I would propose. And who knows, maybe it'll float out there in the ether and somebody will take it and they'll steal a couple of ideas off of it. I don't care. That'd be nice. But it's really so that when I engage with different people, like when I start talking in more forums out here in the real world, I just point them back to my channel and we're like, you can see what I think there. And then, well, Arguing Out of Core, it really isn't. It's changed. So don't even bother going there for real. It's a pretty dialed in focus right now. So it's under complete rehab. But Complex Mind, Simple Man, probably the best place to find me. To the extent you'll find me.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ until you come out to me.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, guys, I am not recording very much for personal reasons, so it is absolutely not a reflection of Marlon or Anna. So if you see them but you don't see me, it is not because we had any kind of a disagreement or anything like that. It's me being flaky and not showing
I don't
up.
know
So just
why.
wanna put that out there.
This is so funny. I said this yesterday, and I don't know why I said it. And I think, well, I'll tell you off the air why I think it. I'm not gonna say it on here. But I said it yesterday because I was like, and Theus was gonna come on the show, but he's unable to come on the show. And just to make it perfectly clear, Theus is upset that he won't be able to come on the show, but he got into a family outing and everything else and stuff like that. It isn't that we fell out or such and something. And I'm thinking, why am I saying this? It's like,
because that's what people think. People automatically think that, we've been doing this together for years, right? And everybody knows that how I'm reacting to the current environment is different than, say, like you're reacting to it. So I don't want people to think that you and I had any kind of a rub. It's not. And there's definitely no rub. If anybody ever gets mad with Anna, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, there's something wrong with you.
No, it's just really that my focus is different. I don't have a lot of lighthearted energy. And it's just me, right? So I'm trying to build my organization. I'm trying to build my educational foundation. And I'm trying to hold things together on the job. And then I'm trying to take care of the family because we are being impacted by all this nonsense that's happening, like I'm sure many of you guys are. So my focus is in a lot of different places. So I really just don't find as much energy or use in me recording. So that's why you guys don't see me very often.
Yeah, I'm the one who had fallen out, LOL. No, you didn't.
She said she had a fall now. She had a fall now. I didn't fall. You know what?
I didn't fall out with her.
She got tired of me. That's what happened. She got tired of me, folks. I got on her last nerve. And I understand.
Marlon, you said he was
Tracy,
being flaky, just like he described it. Now, I did not say he was being flaky.
I am being flaky.
Yeah, but I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say he was being flaky. And by the way, the funny thing about it is I'm the opposite. Which should not come to a shock to absolutely anyone who's watched our show. I'm the complete opposite of you when it comes to this situation. I have, and I'm juggling a lot of plates right now, like a lot. of plates. And every time I think I got one plate in the air, that fifth plate already on its way back down. So I got to get ready for that. It's just a lot of stuff. This is the dumbest analogy. I just got a lot of stuff going on. So I need just for the weekend to be lighthearted. Because Monday through Friday is cuckoo. And I just need 2 days to get away and listen to some of the most mundane, stupid ass issues that somebody else on Reddit has. And then call them stupid. So, yeah, I'm the opposite of you. My reality is Monday through Friday. Well, it's Saturday and Sunday, probably. So 7 days a week. So really, give me 2 hours of just some pure nonsense, fighting with you, laughing with you, and I'm with you. If you get mad at Anna, that's a you problem. I have no idea how you do it. You need to go seek therapy for real. But I've never had an issue with Anna. But I need that distraction. At least for the near future. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that as a judgment, but it's just we're literally wired different. And so that's where we end up with that.
Yeah, but and here's the funny thing about it though, and this is why maybe some people think about it, is we can be wired differently and still come on here and be civil, and still come on here and do a show, and still come on here and laugh, and still come on here and have fun, and still come on here and have a fight, and then come off the show and get on the phone and fight some more, and then come.
That has never happened, y'all. They ain't never happened.
Well, never happened.
I ain't never got off the show and fought with Marlon. They ain't never happened.
No, it hasn't. no, because trust me.
Honestly, it's just, look, I don't like being the killjoy. Killjoy. I think that's the term. Like, I suck the energy out of a room, and I know it. I do it in the real world, and I do it here. So it's better for me not to bring that negative energy in the spaces when I know that's all I really have to offer. So that's why, right? So, but anyway, I love everything that you're doing, bro, and the work that you do for all of us. So,
Susan, to all of you, love. I'll see you when I see you. Thank you. Thank you, Susan, for coming on here. I appreciate it. I don't know why Susan just said safety vest, man. I guess
that's what brings us all together.
The safety vest, man.
That was one of the most entertaining interviews.
Safety vest, man. Charlie Brown.
I never saw Charlie Brown. That's the one I missed. But then we had the dude who was like the white supremacist.
No, and I think we're talking about the same person, because you said the white supremacist, and I said it was a white dude.
Interviewed a couple.
It was one dude who looked like and talked like every freaking Republican on the face of the planet.
No. Like, this guy was like a youngish, weird guy, and he wanted a statewide office in Indiana is what he wanted. But he wanted to be president, and he would like do everything that old boy is doing is pretty much what this guy wanted to do. Just ban the whole government, and I'll be the government.
No, he had one.
Nobody for that. Yeah. I thought
she had one guy on there with middle class, maybe early 60s. The thing is, he looked like every poster that you have ever seen of every male Republican you've ever seen, politician. Nothing stood out from how he looked to what he said. Nothing stood out. It's like, dude, this literally looked like it was an SNL skit, the way he was talking. It was like, you are blending in well. I'll say that much.
That's the mission. That's why, it's one of the reasons why their side is so effective. Is they have a mold and they push them out the machine, and there you go. And I don't remember which one of you it was. It might have actually been Antoine, but I definitely can foresee that if this era passes, right? Let's say that it implodes over the next 2 years, then the response in 2028 could very well be some version of a blue MAGA. And that, I don't want that either, right? And I've always said I don't want that either. Like, I don't want my own strong man,
Well,
that's a whole nother video, because what I would want is quite controversial. So,
well, okay, then I'm gonna say something controversial too. I'm trying so much to close this show, but then you. That's why I love you being on the show.
I stopped.
Okay, your own blue MAGA man, Gavin.
He's not blue MAGA.
Really?
No.
Gavin Newsom
doesn't have a following. He's not the personality that people attach themselves to. He's just the one right now who's willing to fight back. The closest thing that the left has had to a blue MAGA was the Bernie movement. And what I'm saying as far as blue MAGA would be it wouldn't be a Bernie. It would be someone with Bernie's level of appeal, if not more, because people will be desperate for an alternative to this thing. So they'll glom onto whatever that personality is, and they will be fiercely devoted to that personality. And they will suspend every rule that they can possibly suspend in the theory of putting things back right, and do that. So they're basically doing the same kind of carte blanche actions, just doing it from a different perspective, but every bit as abusive to its followers and those who oppose it. But Gavin is too much of an actual politician to garner that. Like, Gavin could be, pardon the analogy, Gavin could be the John the Baptist to the blue MAGA Jesus, right? Like, we don't know who that personality will be yet, but it ain't Gavin, right? Like, because if Gavin even became the next president, progressives will still fight against him. They might work with him a little bit, but he's not pure enough for progressives. He's not pure enough for third partiers. He's not, and he's still in the pocket of a lot of corporate power. So he would be a more aggressive Democrat, but he still wouldn't be, right? Like, he just wouldn't be that thing. Having a Gavin would be almost the most normal type of president you could get coming out of all of this. And he'll come in, if it's him, he would come in and he would expand the Supreme Court. He would suspend a lot of rules so he could push some things through. But corporate still gonna make their money. They still gonna have their voice. Like he's still a Democrat. So I don't know. If he runs, I'll vote for him, based on what we got right now. But he ain't what I think we need. But he would be better than a left-leaning Trump, right? Like,
I get you. All right, we're going ahead and get out of here. And I hate to do I appreciate this. We will be back next weekend, or at least I will be back next. Well, maybe. I'm assuming
next weekend, 100%.
I'm assuming I will be back next weekend. So until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Maybe George Santos should run for president. He'll be a free man.
The funny thing about it is he'll try. He'll get out of jail and try. All right, everybody.